Hello, Dark Moon Lilith. Is it right?
That's right. Yeah.
Bright side. Thank you for joining me today. I just found out you're not in Tennessee anymore, but you're gonna maybe say this yourself in a moment. Can you please introduce yourself and say to the audience who you are, what you do in the band, and where you're coming from music-wise? So a little bit of your backstory, what kind of influenced you, and just give us some broad overview where you're from.
Cool. Do you want to go first?
You go. Yeah, you go first.
We're Dark Moon Lilith. I write most of the songs. I sing and I play guitar. I'm Tara, and then
I'm Matthew. I'm a bass player, and I do a lot of just the production work too on the music. You want to talk about like?
Yeah, so my influences, we really connected over like My Chemical Romance. We share that. We really like theatrics and like big rock songs. I really enjoy like so many different types of songwriters, from Stevie Nicks to Joan Jett, a lot of strong females, a lot of 90s music, Marilyn Manson, Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, Garbage, Hole. I've been doing music pretty much my whole life. I started writing songs when I was kind of like 8, started playing guitar around like 10. And then I was in band throughout school. And then when I was like 15, I dropped out of school and started working with this guy that worked with Evanescence. And then he helped me do this demo, and I released that. And that kind of opened some doors. And then kind of took a break for a few years, went back to college and got some more guitar training under my belt, and then eventually found my way to Nashville, and that's where we met.
Yeah, and I grew up from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I kind of like grew up, I guess, getting into more like punk music. And then I was in like post-hardcore and metalcore bands throughout high school, just kind of jumping from band to band. I started recording bands at 16.
You started recording bands.
Yeah, I started recording bands.
Okay.
I felt like that was a gap where I was in. There just wasn't many resources for bands to, starting bands to record without having to cough up, a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to learn how to do it. So it kind of just filled itself. And then I went to Arizona, Phoenix, for audio production in school. And then I moved out to Nashville for an internship. Did that at a studio out there, did some freelance work. And that's actually how I ended up meeting Tara. And
so you met.
We started working together, and the chemistry was really good. And he gave me an outlet to like be able to record, and I gave him songs to record.
I needed songs to record. Yeah.
Okay, so it just worked quite nicely. So you met in the studio, or where did you met exactly?
We just met through networking.
Yeah.
And we had similar influences that kind of overlapped, and then we just like I started showing him my songs, and he liked them, and
started sitting down and seeing like what we could do with them and where they could go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and I mean, it's just the two of you, and that's fine. I mean, today I talk with a lot of musicians who are just one person, so that's absolutely no problem today. But was it a deliberate decision to just say the two of you, or was it more like, sometimes you don't find the right people who fit the band?
I think initially it wasn't that. The idea wasn't for it to strictly be the two of us. Nashville is an interesting city. You have a lot of musicians there, and a lot of them are there to pursue music in their own right. They've got something kind of in mind that they're going to that city to do. And then aside from that, you do have people that are just there to say, play guitar, but that's how they make their living. They pick up gigs, so it can be kind of hard to find people to collaborate or to kind of organically form that kind of band with in that city, just because of that. I mean, like, a lot of really, really talented people, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee is the spot to be, basically. I mean, I talk with a lot of people from LA. That seems to be a spot where a lot of people are. And then Tennessee, of course, Nashville, Tennessee, everyone knows that. So, yeah, there's thousands of good musicians, but it's so okay. I don't want to track this out, but you two found each other there. So, but when there's so many others, did you try, or did you just don't even?
Yeah,
You
we
did try.
absolutely
Okay.
tried.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, the other thing about Nashville too is like it's it's got its own thing going on musically speaking. You've obviously got the country side of it, but then like there's kind of this sort of pop side to it as well. And there is like a rock side, but it's all kind of got this sort of Nashville chic, hipster-esque.
We just didn't fit in really.
Yeah, it's hard to find someone that wants to be in like an alternative rock band like this, And I mean, the other thing too is, like I said, a lot of the musicians there are there to like, make a living playing music, and that that means playing cover songs on Broadway down there. That's where they make the money.
Yeah, they'd rather do that than try to start something that's original
material. This is a point. I mean, I get it. I of course know a lot of musicians here in Germany. It's not so different. I mean, I'm not in the mecca of music. The country music like Tennessee is, but. The same is here, the real studied musicians, they usually make a living when they are, a teacher, a guitar teacher or whatever, or if they play in cover bands, top 40 cover bands and stuff. And for me personally, okay, this is always like, it's so sad, I mean, this is why you learned music and you studied it for 5 years, and then you play songs, that have 3 chords or something just because they are popular, and you don't pursue your own thing. I mean, I can understand it if you do it on the side, if you have like this is your gig to earn money, to put food on the table, fine. But then you pursue it with something else, your own passion, because this is how most people started, they had a passion and wanted to do it. And so I'm hearing what you're saying, but I don't get it. It's kind of like...
Well, and that was a big reason actually moving to Florida. We did some research and kind of thought, we're going to have better chances finding people.
There's more of an alternative kind of scene down here.
Yeah, that our kind of music exists more down here.
And I was, and also I was listening through your music, and don't get it the wrong way, but it's not so alternative. It's not so unmainstream, I mean, it's not mainstream, but it's not... I think you bridge the gap quite well between, being too popular to radio friendly or whatever you want to. You're still underground, but you're not so. You're not too underground. I don't know how to put it. It's kind of. It's not. You still have edges, and you're not polished, and I call it elevator music. It's not music you would put in a shopping mall or something. But you're not so offending or something, that it's, I don't know. I don't get it why people would not see your potential, That's what I mean, Because, no, I mean, I talk only with people I like the music. So, so I'm a fan. I like your stuff. I just put one of your, I forgot which one, one of your songs in my playlist, but I can tell, you're welcome. I can tell you later. But anyway, so it seems like we're on the same page here. I really think this is so wasted time, such a wasted life. Somebody learns an instrument, studies it, and then plays cover songs, like not his own stuff, not even on the side. This is so stupid. I mean, why do you do it? Are you so burned out and so all your dreams has been smashed? And I mean, you're pursuing it. You're proof. Anyway, Well, sorry, I'm getting a little bit philosophical here because you only regret the things you haven't done in life, you know. And so, what do we talk about then to their grandchildren if they ever get one? Oh yeah, I played cover songs for 30 years and it was so great, and I was the biggest cover song player ever. You know, who's you know. At least you have a dream and you're trying and you're doing quite well. You know, I checked on Instagram, you have like 14,000 followers or something. Tell me how to do it. So you're doing quite well. Anyway, let's wrap this up. I think we're on the same page here. It's really silly to. I mean, I don't mind some covers if you do it in your own style. And I think you did one from Marilyn Manson, right? And this was really your own style. And I really liked this one. I think I might have even put Tourniquet. No, what is it?
Tourniquet,
Tourniquet. I might have even put this one in my playlist, I think. Anyway, so but this is exactly the thing. If everyone would only cover and and play it exactly like the artist played it, then there would be no new music. So where's the evolution of things, you know? And anyway, so sorry. So I'm happy you moved to where are you in Florida? In Tampa? No, Tampa. Okay. So okay, we covered already how you meet. So when did you form your band? Approximately. I don't need a specific date because I have a follow-up question.
Like 2016 is when we really got everything like
together.
2017 is when we released the first batch of songs.
Maybe late 2015 is when we were working on stuff that would be the band later, I guess.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, because my follow-up question is, you were in the lucky position that you met before the pandemic.
Yes.
So, did you have some live experience already as Dark Moon Lilith?
Yeah, sure. Like, I had been in some bands in high school, and she had been in some, bands in high school and stuff, and we knew kind of what to do with it up to a certain point, and then I think we kind of released it and just realized we didn't really know much about promotion or Spotify. I mean, like when we were in bands, MySpace was how you promoted your band, and there's nothing like that exactly.
I know back then,
so it took a while, a lot of experimenting and figuring out how to try to and I mean we're still doing it, obviously, but figuring out how to promote music and get it out there and stuff like that. So we definitely had a lot of experience. It was
my question was more: did you play live as Dark Moon Lilith? That was the question. So because it's interesting how I know you two guys now, but how would you present it live? So that's a challenge on its own.
So do you want
to? You can go ahead.
Well, Nashville for this kind of music again is kind of a tricky city. There aren't a lot of opportunities to there aren't a lot of shows where you really fit the bill unless you're that odd person out, that acoustic guy opening for the metal set on a Wednesday night because they just had to book someone, and then on top of that too, like I said, Nashville, the people there are there to get paid, and we respect that. So if you're playing with those people, you're paying those people, So it made shows kind of a hard thing to balance in terms of our returns on.
Yeah, because we would have to pay studio guys to come out.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, so
and then on top of that too, it just because Nashville, it kind of has its predispositional genres, they typically wouldn't be a big show anyway.
Yeah.
Another reason kind of why we moved down here. Because there are a lot more shows down here where I think we would fit better on a bill.
Yeah. There's more kind of alternative gothic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, I mean.
But we did play several shows out in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay, as Dark Moon Lilith?
Oh, yeah.
And I also did some just acoustic sets with just me and my guitar.
Okay, so what I find a little bit curious, but this is just, you don't have to answer it. There might be a reason for that. But why did you stuck when out there so long in Tennessee, when you realized that it's not kind of your crowd, your feeling, or whatever? Was there obligations that you worked? You are a recording artist. It seems like you're mixing and mastering, whatever. Was it the reason? Or you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to answer it. It might be a little bit prying or something. But it sounds like you were not very happy in Tennessee, because it seems like, kind of stacked against you.
It took, it definitely took a while to kind of realize that, it's not really until you start digging into like the shows that are going on in Nashville that you necessarily see my band's not going to fit on any of these, or digging into other artists that might sound like you, and you find, two and they're, intermittently active,
Well, and I think we just tried to stay optimistic too, that we would eventually find someone, because we found each other, but it just.
I think too,
happen.
that we both, I think, moved to Nashville, aside from some other reasons, for the infrastructure that's there, musically speaking.
Yeah.
And we got done with the first album, Occultation, and we did so much of that in our room, our bedroom, our home room. Like we hardly set foot in an actual studio there, and we kind of realized we could do this anywhere. In fact, we might be better off doing it somewhere else.
Okay.
It was just kind of a slow realization.
No, and I get it. It's also better to, once a problem presents itself, not to run away right away. So I get this also. Yet, but you don't, hit a block and then just try to still work your way. And as you said, you might have been still able to find other people to fit you, to join you. But on the other hand, I think it's also quite liberating to be just the two of you, because it makes things easier as well, so just can you tell me, for the live renditions you did, so you hired musicians and they played the backup, or you had a backup track, or how did you do it?
Oh no backup tracks. I mean, like, there's a lot of talent in Nashville, don't get me wrong. Those guys
that's goes without saying.
Charged to play for you to play with them, like they're worth the money. They're good, so you can literally hire these guys, send them the song, have a practice, maybe two, and they've got it down. And then of course they turn around and then go to another gig and do something totally different,
So we would hire a second guitar player and a drummer typically, and then he plays bass and I play the other guitar part, and that's really all we need.
Yeah.
And you give him just sheet music, or just play them,
or progressions.
Progressions.
Okay.
And isolated tracks.
Okay. So maybe let's stick there. How, I mean, she already said she's writing the songs and you're recording them. So can you just walk me through how a usual song emerges with you? So how are the steps?
So like I usually will either have like some lyrics that I've already written or a chord progression that I really like, and then I'll try to either write lyrics on top of the chord progression that I really like, or match a chord progression to the lyrics that I already have. And then I feel like the best songs just kind of like happen where like you just kind of improvise a melody over that chord progression, and then it's just like kind of writes itself. So I feel like those are some of my best songs. Some of the other ones take a little bit more work, where you kind of have to like chisel out the melodies and spend a little more time with it. But usually after I get kind of like a nice acoustic skeleton of like the progressions and the structure of the song with all the lyrics and the melodies, then I'll show him, and then he'll either be like he likes it or he doesn't like it, and then we'll go from there. And the ones that he likes, then we'll try to get like a tempo for it, and we'll put it to like drums, and then we'll just start building it from there.
Okay. So it's kind of if he doesn't like it, you don't push him, or
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that I really feel are like really important to me or I believe are good, I'll still really push for them.
And I mean, you also don't really know what a song is gonna end up being.
Yeah,
like, there are
that's a good
songs
point.
that we really thought were, gonna be not necessarily the cream of the crop that ended up, really being underdogs.
Yeah.
You just
Get surprised
don't
sometimes.
always know. Yeah, so that kind of makes it easy too if she really has a strong gut feeling, even if it's counter to mine.
No, I also I can I used to play in a band, and sometimes the guitar guy brought a riff, and I was, oh, this is going nowhere. But when I was like just playing along, I'm a bass player too, so I was like, okay, let's give it a try, and then it really became something cool. But just because you added drums and you change the tempo, and so I try also to keep an open mind. This helps. So basically, you two decide what you're gonna produce further, and then you get the drums in and all the the backing guitars and the vocals and stuff, and then you do the mixing and mastering. Or
yeah, so I don't necessarily do the mixing and mastering. We so when we chart out the tempo, well, I guess after we get the tempo, we get the drums, and then there's, it kind of depends on where the song's going, like for instance, like All the Angels, a song we did, it's a little unconventional.
It's also a cover song.
It's also a cover song too, yeah. But it kind of depends. If there's a lot of production aspects on it, like post-production stuff, I'll typically handle it. But typically, just to get other ears on it, we'll have other people.
Exactly.
Mix it.
This was the reason of my question, because sometimes it's a little bit tough to to keep an open ears, or no, how you say fresh ears, because you have heard it so often, so you cannot say anymore if it's good or bad is relative. Music is music, and from my personal stances, there is no bad music. There's just music I don't like. That's it. And so you can run in every direction, and everything is fine as long as you like it. And if you like it, most likely others will like it as well. But yeah, this is always the problem. As I told you, I talk with a lot of single producers, and they do it's kind of in their little bubble, and then kind of how do you get out there to get a fresh perspective and stuff. So you show it to some friends or to other mixers or producers.
Yeah, we'll bounce it off people that we're close to, but typically, like again, kind of depending on the song and the scope of what we're working on. I'll kind of dig through different engineers and try to find someone I think is going to really do the song justice.
Oh, so you take a different engineer per song.
Yeah, again, it kind of depends on the
wow.
scope of the project. Like we used one guy for all the songs on Occultation, but the two covers we released just this past summer, two different engineers, two different mastering engineers.
Okay, so you're not concerned about, because different engineers usually is a different sound, a different, that is kind of not like, how you say, from one cut from one cloth. Is it the right thing? That is kind of a little bit spotty. Let's put it this way.
Right.
You know what I mean. But on the other hand, maybe we can talk about this as well. Today, like you said, you still remember MySpace and stuff. Today, everything is a little bit different. Today you don't release a whole album, so it doesn't really matter if it's a little bit spotty or not, because you do one song, another single, and 3 weeks later another single, so that you kind of keep constant flow of things, that people stay aware and alert that you're still there. So. You seem to have this strategy down quite well. Let's check. I'm gonna check your. Okay, yeah. You have 631 followers at the moment, and on Spotify. I'm just checking Spotify right now. So that's actually a good background, and like I said on Instagram, you're doing even much better. So you seem to have this down quite well. Do you have a label or some promotional help in the back? No. Okay.
At this point, no. We'd definitely be open to it.
Yeah.
I guess so. It's quite annoying. I because as an artist, usually you just want to make music, and now you have to deal with all this stuff. I mean, at the moment, maybe okay, because pandemic, whatever, there is not much going on. You can only just do music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. This is really annoying to, I don't know.
I've had to learn how to edit and make videos the last couple of years. Like, you gotta have videos now, you know.
Oh, do you have videos? Because I have to admit, I haven't really checked. Videos.
Check out our YouTube. Yeah, we got a video for both Tourniquet and All the Angels. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that you kind of have to do these days. You know.
Yeah.
You don't have some kind of video to attach to a song, then it doesn't spread as much.
Yeah, I talked with another band, and they had we released 12 songs, an album with 12 songs, and for each song they had a video. It wasn't the greatest video, it was cheaply made, but we said it's better to have a cheaply made video than no video, because some people just listen on YouTube, some people just listen on Spotify, some people listen blah, 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 wherever, So, and you kind of have to cater to all these different, but I honestly, but this is just my thing, I just gave up because I was so annoyed with this thing, like, I was happy about each follower who kind of joined me, and when I was like, and now I lost one, and like,
yeah.
Beep it, I said to myself, to keep it PG-13, but you can swear if you want. I was like, I'm just gonna do what I like, and if people like it, good. If people don't, what the heck, I don't want to cater to the algorithms and to kind of do this and that. I mean, with this video, I kind of do, because I will set it at a premiere, and it will, and then but so I'm playing the game a little bit, and I hate it, but I don't hate the players. So
Right.
I'm with you, so you have to play a little bit. But so did you try out to get signed by a label, or did you reach out to some labels?
No, we haven't. We're really just trying to, I think, grow things to a point where we would be like attractive to a label. But like you've said, 631 on Spotify in terms of followers, like we're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a game sometimes.
Yeah, I hate it, but yeah, you have to. What can you do? You have to play it, and so as there are no live shows at the moment, did you consider any online shows or Twitch streaming channel stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we did some live streams when the COVID thing first hit and the quarantines were in place, like in May and April.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those went really well. That was really nice to connect with people through that. But we haven't done any more in a while. We'd like to start going out and playing live shows. It's just I don't know when things are going to open up and when that's possible. But we really want to start hitting the Tampa scene.
I have a feeling though, if things remain, we'll probably do more live stream stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of our audience is on online and all over the world. It's not concentrated in where we are.
Yeah.
See, this is one of the positive things. I think I'm just gonna check this. Atlanta, Phoenix, Houston, Riverside, Novara. Okay, one is in Italy. Novara, Italy. Okay, that's the cool thing. I mean, like we already established, love it or hate it, but you have to do it. But that's the cool thing, with all the online streaming and stuff, you can reach audiences you would have never reached before. So there's and like I said in the beginning, I don't really feel you as so niche. I feel you kind of, like I said, bridging the mainstream and the niche thing. So you have this gothic vibe, and I really like that. It has this darkness in it and this roughness, but it's not so. It's not so well polished, but it's not too unpalatable. Is it the right word? Is it not? It's you can swallow it quite easy, but it's not like pop mainstream. But you hear fluffy stuff, but you hear and it goes in here and goes out there. It's kind of like it doesn't leave a mark. So you just got the right balance. I think So you find your formula that's really working. And anyway. To stop this point is that's the good and the bad. The good thing is there is so much music out there today. It's easy. You don't need a label to do this, to put it out, or a backing that you can make a video or something, even if it sucks if you have to do it on your own, cutting and whatever. But on the other hand, you can do it. But me as a radio DJ, I have a radio show as well. Sometimes it sucks to get a lot of not so good music because everyone on a cell phone can do some tunes, and they do and send it and say, "Oh, this is my new track," and whatever. But we are not very well. Sorry, I don't want to. It's. The talk is about you, but I just had this one day. Sorry, I'm just going to say it because sometimes people send me music and they say, listen from the cool stuff starts at 1 minute 30. And I'm like, okay, so before that, what should I do? Listen to the breakdown at 2 minutes something. Okay, and before that, I should ignore it, and then I just tune in at 2. This is kind of so silly. I get, of course, what they mean. That you stick around because most people just listen 30 seconds and then they're done. So that you stick around a little bit longer, but if it's not working for 30 seconds or not for a minute, then 1 minute 30 will not help you as well. Because, this is the thing with the attention span and stuff. Just today, I was talking with a friend about why I make these long videos. Because I had the discussion with my radio boss. Sorry, now I'm on a rant, but I will give it back to you in a moment. But you can maybe say something about it as well. I had a discussion with my radio boss because in the past I had my, these 1 hour or 2 hour long talks with a band on the radio. And he hated it because people were dropping off, because people wanted just music. And he said, okay, give me just 3-minute clips and stuff. And I was like, no, I don't want to do 3-minute clips. What can I talk in 3 minutes about? I can say, oh, you made a nice song. What did you do here? Okay, you played this thing. Cool, nice. And woof, it's done. That you can do in 3 minutes. And I deliberately did, long-term, winding talks because we can get to somewhere. I just don't want to have a sound piece. No, how you say a sound bite. Little things kind of. I understand that people today don't have such a long attention span, but if they're really interested in something, then they have a long attention span, and then they can listen to something. And this is exactly why I want to talk with interesting people and talk about, So sorry. Now I'm done with my tangent and with my. Is it a tangent? Is it with my rambling or yeah? Sorry. Sorry for.
I agree with you. I mean, like the number of podcasts that exist, successful podcasts covering just the most specific things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that really attests
how to hit a nail.
Yeah, exactly. Someone will listen to an hour-long podcast on that that comes out every month.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And why not? So it's and that's also the reason why I like to call it a talk and like a conversation, because I personally like to. I can easily follow a conversation, because when I don't know where to go, when if I would be a real journalist, I would be like, okay, so you did this song. What did you mean by that?
Right.
Ah, yeah. Thank you. And the video, you played two persons. What do you mean? Yes. Okay. So this is not an organic way of doing things, at least in my
Right.
mind.
Much more
Okay.
intimate this way.
Yeah, exactly. And like I told you in the pre thing, you can show as much as you want of yourself or as little as you want. I mean, it's about you. Sorry, but I kind of took over for a little bit. But you at least you know now where I'm coming from, because I hate that people make it sometimes too easy, or kind of. Like we talked already about with that you were not happy in Tennessee, If I would just follow your Instagram and, okay, I have to admit don't really checked it so well, but, if I follow any other influencer Instagram, it's like just the duck face photos and everything is shiny and bright but this is not the world. This is not the world we live in. There is a dumpster and there is, bad stuff happening. And, and especially we are, from the goth culture and stuff, we know of this darkness and we play with it. And so it's kind of, it would be fake to just do shiny little glossy pictures and look here, and this is my food I'm eating right now, and now I ate it, and what. Who's interested in this crap? Anyway. So sorry. Okay. Let me just check. So, you said that you work together with Evanescence. Oh, it's a hard word for me as a
Evanescence.
Evanescence. Thank you.
I worked with a guy that was in a band with one of the other guys that was in Evanescence. so I didn't work with them, but I worked with beside them kind of. But it was a really cool experience. It really taught me a lot about my first experience with singing in a more rock style and structuring songs in that way, and it was really cool. My first studio experience and stuff.
You know what, too? Going back to how we met in Nashville and stuff, that was something that was really helpful, and I think really kind of helped us work together too. The fact that she did have this kind of experience of being able to sit down and write a song and then make a studio recording of it, rather than
it was already more I viewed it as a job more than a hobby from a young age.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to be quite professional. I mean, that's what I said in the beginning. You never know if you froze. Are you still there? Do you still hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Are you still there? You're frozen. Hello? 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 Oh, now. I hear something. Hello? Hello again. You're still frozen? Do you hear me? Okay.
I think so. Hello?
Oh yeah, now you're back. Hey. Now you're back. Okay.
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay. I can see you.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, you were frozen for a moment.
It's raining over here.
So it's raining, and that's why it's
Our internet's a little shaky.
No. Yesterday I had a guy from Colombia, and it was really bad. Anyway, I think it's important, what you just said before we broke up, that take it seriously. Take your stuff seriously, and I mean, still enjoy it. That's what I meant. You still should have fun, because I mean, this was one of the reasons why I asked you if you were playing live, because I'm pretty sure, I've seen a lot of concerts. I haven't seen you yet, but the audience will pick up on that if you really feel it or not, and that's the issue with, you can hire a lot of good musicians in Tennessee, I'm absolutely sure, but we're just going through the motions, they play exactly what you want, but not more and not less, but also, they don't have a fire or a energy, they might play around and play along, but as she said before, it's kind of, you don't need much, if you have an acoustic set and you just sit there with your guitar and you really feel what you're doing, you can reach the audience and touch their heartstrings and stuff. And this is all what music is about, what I said earlier as well, you're not doing elevator music, it needs to touch the people, and this is art. And if it leaves you cold, then something is wrong, it's better, in my opinion, I don't know if you agree, but in my opinion, that people hate your music, because this is a more honest response than just saying, oh yeah, it doesn't really hurt. It's okay. I wouldn't listen to it, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally agree.
I forgot what I wanted to ask you. Evanescence. Okay, we talked about this. Sorry, now I'm a little bit. Sorry, I lost my track a little bit.
Yeah.
You did. Anyway, let's just go to some basic stuff. So you were playing live gigs. Was there any funny stuff happening on stage, off stage, or as you were touring or so? This is kind of like a stock question I have if I don't know, if I lose my track. If there's some funny antics from the stage you can share with the audience.
I don't know.
I feel like the only ongoing funny thing is we cannot get someone to take live pictures of us.
Oh yeah, that is true.
We've had several people now that that agreed to do it, and we've seen them do it, and then they just disappear.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The pictures, no contact from them or anything.
Yeah, or I got one guy's number. He was a touring photographer, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll send them to you here." And I got back with him. I got his number, and then he just kind of
ghosted. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
okay.
got busy or something.
Probably
I forgot.
the funniest thing.
Are you so tough to work with, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, but your pictures on Spotify, they are quite. I mean, there's some cool pictures with you with skulls. Is it a place in Mexico or somewhere where these skulls?
No, it was actually in Nashville. It was in a haunted house, and we found this really awesome photographer that she specialized in doing photo shoots in the haunted house. So she had access to it, and she was great. It was a really cool experience.
So at least you got one photographer who did not run away and even give you the pictures, but not live.
Yeah.
I see. So yeah, what's okay? And one other stock question I have while we're talking about this. I mean, you have been in Tennessee. Was there any starstruck moment? Any did you meet anyone where you kind of fanboy, fangirl, that you're really excited to share the stage or share the room or whatever?
Yeah. For me, I really like Michelle Branch, who's a songwriter over here. And I saw her at Whole Foods. I also saw Nicole Kidman. That was pretty wild because she's really something in person. She's really beautiful.
You saw her in Tennessee?
Gosh, who else? Jack White. You've seen Jack White a lot. Did you see Ozzy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked at studios and also at a record pressing plant in Nashville, so a lot of people would shuffle through. But yeah, Jack White, that was his second home for a duration. It seems like he was there a lot. I got to meet Dave Grohl, Ozzy Osbourne, I'm blanking at Peter Frampton, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wilco. Yeah, you
So
didn't
many
know
people.
who was gonna be there that day or who was gonna walk through the door.
Okay, see, so
But
that's the good perks of Tennessee, I guess. But yeah,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
will not be that much. Is is there any, just let's dream a little bit. If you could go on a festival, with which, let's say, 2 or 3 bands you would like to share the stage. So what would be your dream lineup for a cool festival where you would headline? Just dream for a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like we would probably share one of those bands.
yeah.
Maybe.
I'm gonna let you take the lead on this.
Well, I'm gonna say My Chemical Romance would definitely be one because that's one of our really shared interests.
Our fans like them too.
Yeah. Honestly, too, like, I don't know, I've been a fan of Green Day for a long time, and they put on a good live show, so I feel like that would be really fun with both. I would say that My Chemical Romance and Green Day probably, because I also saw them together back in like 2005, and that was like a really cool show to see the height of both of like their careers. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm bored with that. Yeah.
I don't know if you have
No,
anyone else
no,
that you
that
throw
works.
in,
That's
but
perfect. That's
You,
perfect.
you could choose one more. I said.
Oh,
3. That's right.
oh,
Yeah.
Can you think of a? It's hard to pick just one because I could list, I feel like, a bunch, but it's hard to pick just one
Yeah, I know.
more. Who's like really like just still amazing? You can't think of anything?
Slipknot. I don't know. I don't think we'd fit that.
Marilyn
bill.
Manson, I
Marilyn
feel like
Manson
would
too.
match.
Yeah,
Cause like I feel like his fans connect with ours.
Yeah,
he's
that's
a big
true.
influence.
That's a good point.
I also really like Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins, yeah.
Oh yeah, Smashing Pumpkins. They're active
Yeah.
again.
That'd be cool with My Chemical Romance too, because they're influenced by Smashing
Right.
Pumpkins,
That would
so
be-
that'd be like a multi-layer influence cool
Yeah.
thing there.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So, as I haven't seen any live shows of you, do you? Because you know, I mean, I saw Marilyn Manson once live, so and he puts on quite a show. Do you have some special show things you do, or how can I envision a show you would do?
Yeah.
We've definitely planned out and talked about doing things like that. We haven't had the opportunity yet to like put on that full extent, but we have some things up our sleeves.
Yeah, we want our shows to, initially be like an experience, even if you're not there to like see us. We want you to have a good time.
The show will be a spectacle.
Yeah, even if you're not into the music, because I feel like that's something you could also kind of say about Marilyn Manson shows or like Rob Zombie too. You don't even have to be into their music. That show's entertaining.
Yes.
Exactly, and I'm thinking this is also you take the audience seriously in this, that you're just kind of. I mean, it might be a little bit theatrical. This is what I recall with Marilyn Manson, but at least he did something, I mean, this is you take them seriously. You just not like, basically you could stand behind your microphone and just like, da, 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 and do everything. And it would be fine, it's not wrong, but it's kind of, you want a little bit more. I mean, it doesn't need to be Rammstein, that is kind of like, it burns you down, whatever. But it's also cool. I mean, they're known for their shows and people go there not just for their music, but also for the spectacle. And I had to learn this a little bit because I was like more like, let the music talk, and the music is the most important thing. And I can, just, the audience doesn't even need to see the band, just the music should talk for itself. Yeah, the music should be good, that's for sure. But it's also, I mean, if you really live it, when, show the audience, and give them a show. The Lemmy from Motorhead said it once really quite nice. when the audience sees a show, we don't want the nice guy from the house next door, you know. We want the rock star. So give them the rock star, right? So, so yeah, would be interesting to see what you have up your sleeve. But maybe you can. I don't know what's in store now for this new year. I guess the pandemic is still going on, so you could make some more videos, even if you hated to cut them. But you could put in some of the show elements in it and already practice a little bit. Is there something on your horizon?
Well, yeah, we're definitely kind of monitoring to see what's going on, out in the world and locally, because we are anxious to try to get out and play live. But with that kind of up in the air, we do have music kind of lined up to release over, at least the first half of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like we said before, we might do more live stream stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, in the past too, we did experiment with doing some of like the theatrical stuff on a live stream. We just didn't really know about our audience or much about any of that. So we might try that again. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah,
but did you get any feedback? Because I completely get it. This is, I mean, if with a normal show, it's always the best, because you can smell the audience and you can, there's also this congregational feeling, it's kind of going to church, dancing with others, and there's no question about it. But how did you get feedback from your audience from live streaming? Just curiosity.
So he would read the comments while I played, and like he would kind of, and then we would like do like kind of like little talking segments in between different songs to like kind of fill in like some of the questions that people had and stuff. So, but it was nice because we could talk to them while we were doing the show too at the same time.
Yeah, and we got to know a lot of our fans that way too.
Yeah,
and that was really cool.
And even some people from MySpace back from like
really okay,
like,
that's cool.
Yeah,
and they were like, I've seen you since
fans.
Before it was even Dark Moon Lilith, when it was just me. So pretty cool.
Okay, cool. So I had a dirty thought coming up in my head. I had to have to admit, because it was like, I was just reading the comic. It sounds like a. There's camera girls who do things. So sorry, I don't get me wrong. It was just, I'm the dirty bastard here, so it was in my head. Sorry, it sounded like this. We were reading good comments, and then we just didn't do it exactly. Sorry, it was just me. Okay, so okay. Yeah, so unfortunately you don't give out hints of what the theatrics would be, but anyway, this means I need to follow you, and when I will see in the live stream. And like I said earlier, you seem to do quite well on Instagram. Kudos to you. I don't know how you did it. I would like to know, but I don't know. You seem quite well. Okay, so I'm actually through with most of, what I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you want to share with our audience? Any, closing thoughts or something? What you want to say?
Just like be on the lookout. Keep checking our social media, because updates and announcements will be out this year. We will be releasing things. It's coming. And thank you for your patience. And thank you for your support from anybody too that listens to us and likes it, because it really means a lot to us.
And thank you so much for having us on.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure. I mean, we should have done it much earlier, I think, But anyway, if you have some new stuff to release, we can definitely talk again. And I will check your videos you did under your blood, sweat, and tears and whatever. I will see how well we are done, and I will comment.
Awesome, thank you.
So, okay, I wish you all the best. You seem, everything seems to be on the right place. You seem to love what you're doing, and that's the most important thing for me. That's kind of, the honesty in music, like we talked about. That's why you moved from Tennessee. I think, as for me as an outsider looking in, Tennessee is a really good place. That's kind of, for the infrastructure, like you said, it's perfect. But if you want to do something more niche, more not so mainstream, yeah, maybe not. But
Yeah.
LA, I know a lot of people from LA. I talked with many people from LA so far. For some reason, yeah, I mean, if Tampa doesn't work for you, move there. But it might be quite costly. I don't know. It's expensive there. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Have a great afternoon. You're in afternoon, right? Yeah, your afternoon. Yeah, so have a great lunch. I will prepare my dinner now, and yeah, it was really nice to meet you. Whenever you have something out, something new out, please let me know. I put you in my playlist, and I can play you on my radio show. So I can do my little thing too. I love to support the music I love. That's basically easy for me because I only talk with people where I'm interested in, and I only play the music I like. That's the fun part for me. It works. You won't get famous through me, that's for sure. But a little step, maybe a stepping stone, exactly.
Yeah.
And once you did it, once in your lineup with you play with Smashing Pumpkins and Marilyn Manson, then people will know, oh, there was this guy from Germany who talked with them back then, and and then I get a million views. I get a million views on your video. Okay. Yeah, as much as I hate this whole influencer stuff, you have to play it as we talked about. Anyway, thank you for playing with me, and all the best, and talk to you later.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.